Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 7 of Project Ozone 3. Today I would like to finish doing our tech progression, at least our basic tech progression, getting infrastructure set up. We're almost at the point in the pack where we can go and do really like the choose your own adventure part, where you can either go do exploration or magic or more tech. But before we get there, I think we need to just finish setting up our infrastructure by building the rest of, or by at least getting access to the rest of the Ender IO machines. So, let's see, what did we do yesterday? The last thing we did was we built our Embers setup, which you can see faithfully running here in the background, and it is producing Dawnstone for us. We need this Dawnstone because it is used to make the enhanced Ender ingot, I believe, which is part of the alloy smelter. So let's take a look at that specifically. I think we have to craft these with Ender pearls. Yep, and that gives us Ender ingots, and we need to use this to make this simple alloy smelter. Looks like there's still a few more things we have to craft. While we wait for some gears to craft for the alloy smelter, I just want to show you how powerful this automation that we set up here was. So this has been sifting through, all these gravel, sand, dust, whatever that we're automatically crafting for a while. And here's what it's made for us. We have most of these crates are actually maxed now. They're voiding because they're full. In fact, almost all of these. And yeah, we base out all the resources from sifting we could ever use. Looks like our redstone one isn't quite full yet, and our diamond and emerald ones aren't full. But I mean, we have 141 stacks of diamonds, and this is less than a day's worth of production. That is pretty awesome. So we've made our simple alloy smelter now. The simple tier machines in Ender IO, however, aren't very good. They run very slow and they leak some power. Now, 0.05 RF a tick isn't particularly meaningful, but we have to use them for now. Oh, and the other thing, they don't accept capacitors, right? They don't have a capacitor slot that allows them to speed them up. So our next goal is to make these industrial machines. And to do that, we need to make these organic green and organic black dyes. I think the rest we already have. Crushed quartz comes from sifting. Lapis dust, we can just crush lapis. So let's make some of that. This is made with coal powder and slime balls. Now there's actually a small trick. If you look at coal powder, for some reason tiny charcoal and tiny coal as well, I believe, is let's see if it comes around. Yeah, is ore dictionary in with all these other coals. And normally, coal powder is one piece of coal, but if you take just coal and this stone hammer, you get to make 8 tiny coal. Which, normally you just use it in furnaces where you only need to cook a single item, but we get to cheat a little bit. Not that it's meaningful. We have, as you saw, our drawer full of coal has like 800 stacks in it. But I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cute. Anyways, so we have to make this black dye, and similarly we have to make green dye. It's slime balls and clippings and trimmings, which just comes from sag milling. Just about anything organic. We'll probably do leaves or something. So having made our industrial dye blend from our, organic dyes, I want to look at what it would take to upgrade our alloy smelter. Well, normally there's a recipe to directly make an alloy smelter out of like the machine chassis without using simple ones. But I guess in Kappa mode that has been removed. And this is kind of an example of a deeply nested recipe that I don't like to see so early in the game. So to make an alloy smelter, you need 3 simple alloy smelters. All right. Well, each simple alloy smelter takes 2 simple powered furnaces. All right. So you need 6 simple powered furnaces, right? Everything else is just like a one-step craft. That's not too bad. But each of these requires then you need 6 gold furnaces and 6 simple chassis, not to mention the 3 more simple chassis you need. Like this is a very annoying recipe. It's not very resource heavy. These are all basic resources, right? But it's very annoying insofar as it takes a whole lot of clicks to do in the early game. So yeah, like this type of recipe, it's not that bad once you have applied energistics because you just, it's auto crafting is recursive. but manually crafting is not, which is kind of painful. Anyways, quick rant over. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade our alloy smelters from simple to, full-blown regular alloy smelters so that they're a whole lot faster. Well, that took a long time. The alloy smelter also takes a lot of exotic alloys to make this dark bimetal gear. So, vibrant alloy, vivid alloy, energetic silver alloy, energetic alloy, and that's it. Oh, and dark steel at the very end. All of which take a remarkably long time to make in these simple alloy smelters. In fact, I still have some simple alloy smelters still up cooking this. It's like, geez, it takes, what, a minute plus to make a single piece of dark steel? And some of these, like dark steel, could have been made in the smeltery, but others, like this energetic silver and the vivid alloy later, have to be made in in the simple alloy smelter for now. So that was kind of painful, but it's done now, and we have one full-blown alloy smelter. Downside is I expected this to be a lot faster. It's actually only twice as fast as one of these when using a basic capacitor. So I think what I want to do, again, since I don't want to waste my time waiting on these machines as much as I am now, I want to upgrade the capacitor. So to upgrade the capacitor, normally it's just a crafting recipe, right? But in Kappa mode, now this requires the actually additions in power. I think it's still the same materials. Two capacitors of like the previous tier, 2 ingots, and pulverize something. So let's go ahead and make the empower and the display stands for it. At a glance, these recipes look the same, thankfully. So yeah, let's set up our empower next. And here's our empower. All the wiring is run underneath here, so it looks, kind of neat, with the exception of all the hoppers. But the way it's set up is for batch processes. So actually look up what the recipe is. Pulverized coal goes in the middle. Ooh, does it have to be exactly pulverized coal? It does. It doesn't take crushed coal. Okay. That's not a big deal. I think I can make that in the... Wait a second. Okay, no, in the pulverizer I can pulverize coal. Alright, I'm going to make a small change then, 1 second. So here we go. Pulverized coal this time goes in the center. And then on the sides we have energetic alloy in 2 of them, basic capacitors in 2 of them, and that should turn it into the second tier capacitor, the double layer capacitor. And that's actually pretty quick. So let's see how quickly this makes the machine. It goes from being 30 a tick to 90. Oh, that's much better. That's 3 times faster than the basic. And once we have these done, we can even upgrade it further into the octadic capacitors, which I'm sure will be even faster. So yeah, let's let this process for just a minute, and then we can see how fast the octadic capacitors are. I went ahead and made a octadic capacitor, the tier 3 capacitor. Let's see how fast this is. So it's 90 RF a tick with the tier 2, and it is 150. Cool, so now this machine is about 10 times as fast. Well, perhaps exactly 10 times as fast as a basic, or as a simple machine, which is a significant step up. Now also look, because we have energy in the pack, there's even higher tier capacitors. I think the crystalline capacitor is a tier up from octadic. Melodic capacitor is a tier up from crystalline. And stellar is a tier up from melodic. And last but not least, totemic is the highest tier up from crystalline. And I assume once you get up here, the machines get crazy fast. But looking at what it takes to make these things, we can, with a little work, we can probably make crystalline capacitors. And since it'll save us time, it's probably worth it. But I don't think we can reasonably get above that yet. This requires, going to Landia, going to the end, etc., etc. So anyways, I think we're a good way through Ender, our Ender IO progression for today. And here is the last capacitor tier I think that we're able to make for now. So let's see what this goes from 150 to maybe 180, 195. All right, but even a bit, we can eke a little bit more speed out of this machine with the capacitor upgrade. Now that we've gotten this far, though, I think while there are still more capacitors, they just take a lot more tech than we have available right now, right? The next one takes a slice and splice, melodic alloy, and end steel. So let's move on to the next way we can upgrade our machines, and that's by going to the industrial tier. So right now, let's take a look at alloy smelters specifically. So right now we're using the normal tier alloy smelter. We can go to the we can go to the enhanced tier. Looks like to do so we need to go to the end to get some end steel, to get a end stone. Right, that's end stone, dark steel, and obsidian to make that. So we need to make a trip to the end. That'll be fun, and we need to make this enhanced machine chassis, which is also end steel. And this is easy. Okay, so I guess our next thing to do then is to make a trip to the end. Since the strongholds that take you to the end don't generate in the void world, I believe the way to get to the end is to use cake. Specifically the end cake. So that doesn't look too bad. Let's go and craft one of these. One end cake coming right up. So let's fill it up with Eyes of Ender, but let's not go through it yet. I think we want to make a few more preparations first. I have the Staff of Traveling, which is great for getting around, and it'll allow me to teleport onto the towers to break the bars, but it only has maybe 30-ish teleports in it before I run out of power. So I think I need some type of capacitor bank on me to recharge it on the go. And I wouldn't mind perhaps upgrading or at least enchanting my armor before we go. So let's do those before we take on the Ender Dragon. So as for armor, I think I'm gonna go with the Sapphire armor. All of the various gem types, Sapphire, Peridot, and Ruby, are the same stats, and comparing them to Diamond, they seem to be the same armor value and just slightly less toughness. Which I think toughness contributes less to armor overall effectiveness than like the actual armor value. So let's see how we do enchant wise. Hey, level 32. Hold on, can enchants go above level 30? Let's build more bookcases. Interesting. 34. Huh, I wonder how high it goes. Let's find out. So it looks like level 50 is the cap now. I don't know what mod changes that, but something does. So I think we can get rid of this one bookshelf and it'll still be level 50. Yep, so that's as high as it goes. Cool, so let's see if there's any enchants we want here. Specifically, I would love to get Feather Falling. I wonder what Shadow Step is. Let's find out. Shadow Step Stable Footing. Is there a way to see what they do? No? Okay, well, whatever. I guess let's just keep enchanting then. I have no clue what some of these enchants do. What is rebounding? Repel. Last Stand is nice. Let's just get the high level one. Honestly, no clue if these are good or bad. I want Feather Falling enough that I think I'm just gonna make it with the Ender IO Enchanter. Let's put this here. Right, I believe I can just make Feather Falling. Yeah, I can just make a Feather Falling book and then add that with on an anvil to my shoes. All right, here we go. We can now add Feather Falling to our boots. What are all these tabs? I have no clue what this is for. I assume this is a new Dark Steel upgrade system, but I haven't looked into it at all. I wonder if this tells us anything. No, it does not. Okay, well, I don't know. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's related to this new like Dark Steel upgrade system, although I haven't the slightest clue how it works. Anyways, with our armor, range weapon, and I guess we made. Well, let's grab that sword. And let's enchant it as well. And then with this, I think we'll be ready to go fight the dragon. So while waiting for my capacitor to charge, looks like it'll be, I mean, it's probably charged enough to go use now, but I was playing around with these dark steel upgrades. I think the way it works is you want to hold the item you want to upgrade in your offhand, and shift right click with the upgrade item, and then you can just put it in. So I have that, and then likewise I have empowered 4. But first you have to deposit levels into it. So you see 16 levels needed to activate. So I think you just right click and it activates it. Shift right click, put it in. And here you can see you can also put anvil upgrades. I have no clue what they do. But yeah, I think this is like the new dark steel upgrade system. You no longer like add these on an anvil. Cool, I guess. I probably am not appreciating the full value of it. Anyways, I think this is charged enough. Let's go meet the dragon. And welcome to the end. Apparently you spawned right in the portal. I hope that means, oh whatever, we'll deal with any consequences of that later. So hopefully this means that I can now come into here. I don't have blast protection, so I don't want to blow up the crystal from right next to it yet, but this should be fine. Still can't see some of those crystals. Nice to be able to teleport. I don't expect this fight to be all too difficult. Ow, that hurts. But yeah, now you see why I wanted feather falling, so I could get off of these easily. I think I upset an Enderman. Is that the last one? I think that's all of them. Now just to hit the dragon. Oh no, I upset some Enderman. Ow. Take that, dragon. I can hide on your platforms too. Interestingly, I can... Oh no, I can't, never mind. I can still hit him with the range weapon while he's in the melee only phase. But no, I cannot do that. I wonder, do I have some bottles? Let's pick up some, I want to leave that on my bars. Let's pick up some of that dragon's breath. Who knows if it'll be useful later. I'm getting ender error. I think I got some dragon's breath there. I got one. But I don't really want to take damage from it. It really hurts. Let's heal a little bit. Alright, I got one dragon's breath. Whatever, good enough. I think the ender air bottle is a Botania item. If it turns out I need more, I can just summon more dragons later for it. And there we go. One dragon down. The dragon's heart will be useful for Draconic Evolution. And did he drop anything else? Maybe it'll drop you by the heart. The green heart. Ender Dragon Scales. Sure, that seems like a late game item. More Dragon Scales, essences. Alright, nothing of particular importance, I think. Let's get that egg too. We can make a dragon egg mill from that. Do I have torches on me? Alright, there we go. So, with that out of the way, let's head back to the overworld. Alright, here is our dragon egg mill. It takes a couple nether stars, but that's pretty, pretty reasonable for this point in the game. So it produces 500 grid power just by existing. And I almost forgot the whole reason we went to the nether, or we went to the end, was to get some endstone for alloys. So let's go actually do that now. The fruits of our labors. We should now be making some end steel. So once we have this, end steel can be used to make the end steel chassis, just by upgrading the simple machine chassis, and then this can be used with this enhanced die blend to make enhanced machine chassis, which finally allow us to make the enhanced tier machines. And finally, we are ready to make the enhanced alloy smelter. So, an interesting quirk of the enhanced tier Ender IO machines is that they take like an extra half block on top, and as a result, I don't think they can't take IO out the top. So, I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's just something to keep in mind when, designing your layout. It looks like it's 50% faster than the regular machine. So let's see how that goes. That feels a lot faster too. We're now making end steel. Maybe it's more than 50% faster. I don't know. Either way, we're making end steel a lot faster than we were before. So I'm thinking I was running a lot of alloy stuff. I mean, some of these are still simple tier, but I was running a lot just to keep up with how much of the various alloys we needed. I'm thinking maybe like 2 enhanced alloy smelters and 1 enhanced sag mill should do the trick, at least for now. So after I spent all that time making the Ender IO capacitors, I remember that there are these loot capacitors you can get from loot bags. So I opened a handful of loot bags to look for them, and I got some. I seem to recall that there's a mod that makes it easy to understand what these do. But if you look at the MBT data, they kind of list the blocks that they're good for. Maybe next time I restart my pack, I'll add that mod that lists what they do. It's just like a client-sided mod, so. Anyways, my point is, these might be better than the capacitors I have, but it's tough to tell. I think as long as they don't have the word "dud" in them, they're good. Like this one this one I think is good, but only it's very good in powered spawners. Actually, just that, right? I think, maybe? I'm not actually 100% sure how these loot caps work. I just know that they can be incredibly good in the right machine. Oh, and there's my fire water bucket. So you still can get fire water buckets from loot bags. Good to know. And the last type of machine chassis we need to make are these soul machine chassis. So these are used to make machines that deal with mobs, like spawners. It's a farm station kind of deals with mobs, not really. Soulbinder and Slice and Splice, and the various obelisks. So I think, does that include the experience obelisk? Let's actually build one of these right now, because if you die, you lose EXP, but if you store EXP in experience obelisk, you don't lose EXP. So let's make an experience obelisk. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like we can make this yet. Maybe? No, actually it looks like we can. We just have to go through some crafting steps. There we go. And we can put this by our enchanting. Yes. Alright, there we go. Now if we die, all our EXP is safely tucked away in our experience obelisk. So with that, there's still a few quests left to do in the Ender Isle section, but none of this is stuff that we need right now, I think. Stuff like, farming station, we're not into farming yet. We're generating power through other means. We're not quite ready for these ultra high tier capacitors. So given that, I think the two things we can either do next are jetpacks or get into some magic. And actually, since the theme of today has been tech, let's do jetpacks. And we can do magic tomorrow. So it looks like only the thermal line of jetpacks are available. I think we can only get up to Electrum for now due to the need for some resources. But let's see. We should at least be able to get to Electrum jetpacks. Here we go. Okay, here's the first tier jetpack. Now, if we look at it, it uses 1,000 RF a tick, which means the built-in buffer lasts for 80 ticks or 4 seconds. So we're definitely going to need to use a flux capacitor if we want to use this jetpack. But it's not great. It uses power extremely quickly, and our flux capacitor does not charge our equipment. Charging equipment. There we go. I want it on all items, I guess. So this should, it charges our jetpack. All right, cool. But I would like to do better than this jetpack, and I'm actually curious as we go up in tiers. Well, the power usage goes up, not down. Yikes, that's a lot of power. Oh well. Anyways, let's work on the next tier then. Right, the next tier was actually quite easy to make, so here we go. It has a much larger buffer. It has, 400 ticks of built-in power. That's a whole 20 seconds before it needs to be externally charged. So I think with each tier, you get more vertical speed, but it does use more power. Anyways, give me a second to charge this up. Right now, I think our flux ducts are actually somewhat limiting our power transport. I wonder what it'll take to upgrade to. I mean, we may as well go all the way up to Resident if we do anything, right? So that takes. That's not bad. It's hardened glass, electrum. We'd have to make a magma crucible and fluid transposer, but I think we can also upgrade our energy conduit network. I'll probably do that in between episodes just because that's a lot of breaking and replacing conduits, which I'm sure is super fun to watch. So anyways, now that this is charged, we get to fly a little bit faster now. Woohoo! Alright, one more tier of upgrade to go. Tier 3 jetpack, here we go. Reinforced. Let's see how this... Well, let's charge it before we use it. And I took a quick look at the recipe, and I think we can actually make the Tier 4 jetpack. So let's take a look at that again. Tier 4 Resident jetpack. Let's see, right? Oh no, what? The reason I couldn't was because I don't have Blizz powder. I'm sure I could come up with a way just to make a little Blizz powder. We can use the fluid transposer recipe to make a little bit of it. It's not very efficient, but okay. So yeah, we can make it. Let's just double check in here, make sure there's nothing unreasonable. And once we have this, that'll probably be the best jetpack we can use for a while. Because while it does upgrade into this flux-infused jet plate, that requires, this. which requires us to go down the entire resource progression path, which we're nowhere near. So I think for our last task today, let's try to make ourselves a resident jetpack. And here it is, our tier 4 resonant jetpack. So with 80 million ticks or 80 million internal buffer and 8k a tick, what are we looking at? 8 or 1,000? 10,000 ticks, which is 500 seconds, about 10 minutes of flight time, I think. But let's charge it just a little bit so that we can see how it performs. Yeah, good enough. And I think it should. Oopsies, I have to put it on first. There we go. That's pretty good, isn't it? Even though it uses a lot of power, it can really help us get around faster. So yeah, I think the next thing we can do with it is we can armor plate it, but we can just armor plate and enchant it. But besides that, I think we're pretty well and done with tech for the time being. There's more we could do, but I think we're at a good point to change gears. So how about we'll wrap up today at this point, and tomorrow we'll change gears and tackle some magic and exploration and see some of the other stuff this pack has to offer us. So I hope you had fun watching this episode. I surely had fun making all of this stuff. Really, tech is where I am at home in modern Minecraft, but magic is fun too. So anyways, yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow for some magic. Take care and bye-bye.